Unbound.org. Weather now pushing in close to 100 degrees. Got there yesterday, or pretty close to it. Today 100 with sunshine. Tonight a few clouds, 78. Tomorrow a few clouds, 101. And probably in the low 100s for Saturday and Sunday. Maybe as hot as 105. I'm meteorologist Ray Staging from the Weather Channel, San Antonio's official weather station. News Radio 1200 WOAI.
Under cloudy skies, it's now 93 degrees, and it's 101 at News Radio 1200 WOAI. The Supreme Court's cast its final decisions of the term of the president's financial records.
The Supreme Court ruling 7-2 that the Manhattan District Attorney is entitled to see the president's business records as part of a criminal investigation. The court said the New York DA had the authority to subpoena the records from the president's private accounting firm. The president had claimed an immunity from criminal investigations while in office, something the court rejected. The ruling, however, returns the case to lower courts. Separately, the court threw out lower court rulings allowing Democratic-led congressional committees to obtain the president's financial records, providing a victory to the president. Chief Justice John Roberts sent that case back down to the lower courts, making it unlikely that the public will see the president's financial records before the November election.
While a lot of people are getting sick from the coronavirus, there's also an increasing number who are recovering, and health officials want them to donate their plasma. Pamela Jensen with Texas Health Presbyterian says that liquid gold can help the sickest of the COVID-19 patients.
Once they recover, then they have developed antibodies to the virus, and that's the plasma we're looking for.
The donors have to be former patients who have been symptom-free from the virus for at least 14 days. Austin Council members are considering a fine for anyone caught out in public not wearing a mask. Eric Lycus reports from our Austin Bureau.
In a letter to Austin Mayor Steve Adler, Texas Governor Greg Abbott says he supports that in the name of public health and safety. He says, quote, "As you know, these orders were created and adopted based on advice from medical experts, and if these orders are followed, we will be able to protect both public health and the livelihoods of our citizens," unquote. Austin would fine mask violators up to $2,000. Another ordinance would be civil action by the city against any businesses that do not comply with minimum health standards amid the pandemic. Abbott's letter, while favorable to Adler, does not give him additional power beyond enforcing the governor's orders. In Austin, Eric Lycum, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
As Texas experiences a surge of virus infections, more than 117,244 people applied for unemployment claims last week, an increase of 21.4% compared to the week before. It was the second week in a row the number of claims rose. Since mid-March, almost 2.8 million have filed for unemployment benefits in Texas. Crews are painting the words of Black Lives Matter outside Trump Tower as city workers began painting the mural this morning on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. The New York Post reports Mayor Bill de Blasio was on hand to see the work in person. President Trump has criticized the project, saying it denigrates Fifth Avenue. Similar murals are going to be painted in other areas across the city. Get the latest news anytime, anywhere. Just tell your voice-activated smart device to play News Radio 1200 WOAI on iHeartRadio. I'm Carrie Lockheed, News Radio 1200 WOAI.
You could win $1,000. Be listening for your chance to win in the $1,000 an hour summer cash contest on News Radio 1200 WOAI.
Oh, so bad.
Listen 12 times a day, weekdays from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. for a chance to win your share of over $500,000.
I'd love some help to pay my bills.
Be listening for the keyword and your chance to win in the $1,000 an hour summer cash contest on News Radio 1200 WOAI. Presented by Ideal Feet, the way your feet should be. Let your feet take you where you want to go. Ideal Feet.
Do you suffer from foot, knee, hip, or back pain? They have two convenient locations. Check them out at idealfeetsatx.com.
The way your feet should be. Ideal Feet.
Are you ready for a new vehicle? Hi, I'm Peggy Cash, inviting you to experience the Transworld Leasing way of doing business. Tell us what you want. We find the vehicle you're looking for. You never have to visit a dealership, and then it's delivered to your home or office. Transworld specializes in unlimited mileage on not only new, but also pre-owned vehicles. Make that call, 696-8900. For more than 41 years, leasing with personal service is our only business.
Hi, this is Andy Allen with Hill Country Classics Custom Homes in Bernie. If you're considering building a new home in the country, be sure to visit our all-new website featuring over 200 new floor plans and photos. HillCountryClassics.com. We build houses like they used to.
Thomas J. Henry is more than just a law firm. We give millions back each year to our local community through local sponsorships, events, and fundraisers. Have a cause that needs help? Visit pjhlaw.com. That's pjhlaw.com. San Antonio, Texas.
If the South Texas Storm has got a number on your roof, call ARP Roofing. ARP Roofing are the insurance claim repair professionals. Call for a free inspection, and if you have storm or hail damage, they will work with your insurance company to get it fixed. They are your A+ rated, trusted local roofers, and they are fully COVID-19 compliant. Call 210-714-0040 to schedule a free inspection. That's 210-714-0040. ARP. Affordable, reliable, professional.
That's after you'll ever own. Call 656 Pure Kinetico.
Don't lose your appliances to hard water. You could stop the damage immediately. Get a Kinetico.
KineticoSA.com.
Tune in to Edelman Financial Engines, Saturday morning at 10. Spencer Hash and Reagan Williamson of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Home City.
Stand by, folks, because they got some news stuff coming up from the Snack Stuff today that is going to make some of you really mad. And it's just stuff that the Democrat Party is doing or wants to do if they win the White House in November. Great to have you with us. Rush Limbaugh, 800-282-2882. And the email address is lrushbaugh@eibnet.us. How many of you have, a lot of you have been listening a long time, 30 years. There's been a bugaboo of mine that I have been mentioning for almost all of those 30 years. And it's a group that I dubbed The Offended, capital T, capital O, The Offended. And they have bothered me from the very beginning. You could have 99 people in a room, and one of them would be offended by what the 99 are doing, and the 99 would have to stop doing it. And it forever bugged me. Who are these offended? Why, just because they're offended, does everybody have to kowtow to them? And it started with smoking. Then it started with eating certain kinds of foods. Then it started with words that people said. And then pretty soon the offended became the primary group of people implementing political correctness. They're a bunch of censors. They're a bunch of busybodies who figured out that to get what they want, just act offended. Rather than say that they're a politically organized group, just offended. They're not even political in their view. They're just living their lives and they are offended by various things that happen. And it just bugged me that everybody kowtowed to them. What's special about being offended? Grow up! In terms of being offended, I don't even want to give people the power to offend me. Well, it's been a it's been a pet peeve of mine, and now it's an officially established political organization, The Offended. They are the people that implement and enforce political correctness and censorship. Well, it turns out that in show prep a couple weeks ago, or during the past couple of weeks, I found a story. It was actually 3 days ago. Study reveals that easily offended people are less productive and bad employees. So somebody actually did a study on it. It's at a website called Summit News. I never heard of Summit News, but I'll take it since it does something here I agree with. A study conducted by a professor, San Diego State University, has discovered that people who are easily offended make terrible employees because they never get anything done. The study was conducted by Dr. Jeremy Burnett. It involved asking almost 400 employees, average age 26 years old, across 7 U.S. colleges about different events that have recently gotten substantial media attention. The study notes that the events consisted of 17 items developed to assess the proclivity to be offended. 8 moral outrage items, 11 microaggression items, and 9 political correctness items. It noted that some people have a high proclivity to be offended. That would be PTBO. High proclivity to be offended, which the study describes as a state-like tendency to be sensitive to customarily innocuous societal events and traditions. For example, playing of the United States national anthem. The easily offended are offended by that. So what do they take a knee to supposedly call attention to police brutality? Basically, the proclivity to be offended are easily triggered by anything. And Dr. Burnett found that they're less productive because they're constantly worrying about how the organizations they work for are not fair, that they consume a lot of time complaining about trivial matters. They're obsessed with what everybody else thinks of them. I wish it had gone further, because I tell you, I think this group known as the offended are actually a very active, purposeful political organization that are camouflaging themselves to make them look like just mentally disturbed. But the bottom line is, why does everybody kowtow to anybody who's offended? Without even thinking, well, that's stupid to be offended by that. Just don't, if that offends you, then ignore it. But the left, anybody comes along and claims that something offends them, they are immediately given full attention, credibility, and the people who offend them are then challenged to stop whatever they're doing. And it's just always right. And I think it is a serious, it's one of the serious ways in which our culture has been under assault. And what really hit me about it when it first started is something that still bothers me today. There was no pushback against it. Somebody, it was this bad. Somebody in an apartment with the windows closed and the air conditioning on, 300 feet, a football field away from another apartment also closed with the air conditioning on, and somebody in that apartment smoking a cigarette. The person in the football field away apartment claiming she could smell that person's cigarette secondhand smoke, and it offended her. And so the town came along and made the guy stop smoking. Well, there's no way this woman could have possibly smelled anybody's cigarette smoke from a football field away in a closed-up apartment. And instead of somebody making that point, they just went to the person smoking a cigarette. You are disturbing a fellow tenant. You must stop. This is before there were any bans. This is before there were public bans on smoking or any. This is how they got this stuff going. And I maintain you, there was no way anybody, a football field's 300 feet, 100 yards, no way two people in two closed-up apartments could smell anything going on in any of those two apartments. But because one person was offended, the other person had to stop what they were doing. And there was no pushback. The person who was smoking, okay, I'm sorry. Don't punish me. Instead of leaving the apartment, going to the other apartment, a football field away, and blowing smoke through the front door and saying, screw you. Just acquiesce. We've been acquiescing to the offended. We've been acquiescing to Black Lives Matter. Speaking of Black Lives Matter, get this. New York City. You watch Fox News. Sometimes if there was a shot of Manhattan, 6th Avenue, which is where Fox is, it's a ghost town. There's no traffic. And you know why it's a ghost town? Because that brilliant mayor has shut it down, along with the brilliant governor. New York City is shut down, yet work began this morning on a massive Black Lives Matter mural in front of Trump Tower. A stretch of 5th Avenue between East 56th and 57th Streets was closed to traffic, and there's not much anyway. As City Department of Transportation workers began measuring and stenciling the giant yellow letters onto the pavement with spray paint and tape just after 8 a.m. While New York City is basically rotting away, While New York City is falling apart, this is what that idiot mayor thinks is important. A Black Lives Matter mural in front of Trump Tower. The Mayor de Blasio sanctioned mural will be painted by local artists starting at 11 a.m., with the mayor expected to show up later. Retired Manhattan resident Ellen Myers, 70 years old, was among a small group of bystanders watching the mural go up. She said, "I'm extremely proud to be here today. Black Lives Matter." Black Lives Matter is a Marxist, communist political front group. It is not a civil rights organization. It's not about black lives. It's about overthrowing the United States of America. But here's Ellen Myers, very proud to be there today as this mural goes up while the city rots away. Legitimate businesses in the city can barely hang on. Broadway, the theater closed, which means a whole bunch of restaurants are losing any opportunity to even stay open. Now keep in mind that New York City is cutting the police budget by $1 billion, and yet they are funding a Black Lives Matter mural in front of Trump Tower. Washington State is considering a plan that would give priority to minority and disadvantaged students when the schools do reopen in the fall, following months of closure during the coronavirus pandemic. Washington Governor Jay Inslee shuttered the state schools earlier in the year as part of the coronavirus mitigation plan. So what are they going to do? Well, when they open the schools in the fall, if they do, Washington State is going to give non-white students priority when they reopen. A district planning guide released last month makes the suggests granting priority to non-white students during reopening phases. The guide cited a theoretical reopening plan that would serve students furthest from educational justice, which it cited as students of color. So the premise is that students of color are getting shortchanged by the education system because they are students of color, which means they are discriminated against, and they're discriminated by a bunch of white supremacists and racists and bigots and homophobes and whatever. And so, when it's time to reopen the schools, guess what? The people of color get to go back first. And only after the people of color are in there for a while and soaking up all the energy, only then will white students be permitted in. And this is heralded as the epitome of fairness and justice in education, from people who claim that all they want is a fair and just society, colorblind and all that. These are little Looney Tunes destroying the very moral, intellectual fabric of our country. And it only gets worse. A proposed policy platform for the Democrat Party to be debated and voted on if they ever have a convention, drafted by supporters of Joe Biden and Crazy Bernie. You ready for this? Would give asylum to the world's migrants, inviting them all to the United States to live and work. Tens of millions of Americans are at present unemployed. Tens of millions of Americans unemployed because of an artificial economic shutdown due to the coronavirus. They're not out of work because the American economy failed them. They're out of work because government leadership failed them. There was never any need to shut down. There was no need to destroy the world's #1 economy, but they did it. And now, tens of millions of Americans are unemployed, and the Democrats, as part of their party platform, have a plank designed to invite the world's migrants to the country. Flood the country with the world's migrants. What kind of idiot would inflict that kind of damage on the country which is already trying to deal with nearly unprecedented levels of damage? Communist idiots, Marxist idiots. We know what they're doing. Democrats want and need a permanent underclass to lord over. So rather than just having open borders of the southern border for Central Americans and Mexicans, the Democrats are going all in. Let's just invite every poor person in the world to come into America. In addition to that, the Democrats in their platform are declaring war on fracking, which has led to the United States being the worldwide leader in petroleum energy. This war on fracking as part of the party platform is a war on affordable energy for your car, for your home, for your business. You know, in a way, folks, it is shocking how honest these Democrats have become. They don't just say throwaway lines like, we're going to transform America. They're actually now providing details on how they're going to do it. And we have to believe them because they're already burning down cities to get our attention. They're already defunding the cops. And by the way, you know what that really means? They're not defunding the cops. They're changing the makeup of police departments. The police department's going to become the next social justice movement, social worker movement. Rather than defund the cops, they are restructuring it and they're giving them more power. They're going to give them more power to come into your home to take your kid if you're not a proper parent. You haven't even seen 1/10 of the plan the Democrats have in this defund or reorganized police department move that they are making. But they're burning down cities. They're letting it happen. They're letting the blue state economies squander and stifle. They're telling us exactly who they are and exactly what they're going to do. And they're giving you a full color photo of your future if they end up in power running it.
When you read the Limbaugh letter, you're prepped to combat liberal madness because El Rushmo supplies you with an arsenal of facts. Subscribe to the print edition of the Limbaugh letter and you'll get free Rush's dad's famous, inspiring speech, Stand Up for America as Founded, the Signer's Secrets that can save us today. Order now at RushLimbaugh.com. You are listening to the EIB Network.
News Radio 1200 WOAI.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. But thankfully, there's Home Advisor. Home Advisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can read reviews of the pros, check their availability, even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that Home Advisor is completely free here.
Go to homeadvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
Time's running out to win $7,000 a week for life from Publishers Clearinghouse. Enter now at PCH.com and you could win $7,000 a week after week, for life. Don't miss your chance to win because $7,000 a week for life is ready to be awarded on August 31st. Go to PCH.com and enter before it's too late. That's PCH.com. Better hurry if you want the next big winner to be you. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 8/26. No purchase necessary. Void were prohibited. Liberals are attacking our way of life. They want to defund the police and enact socialism. We need conservative fighters in Congress, now more than ever. Conservatives like Republican Tony Gonzalez, a Navy veteran. Tony Gonzalez was deployed in support of combat operations in Afghanistan and Iraq, proudly serving our nation in the war on terror. Now Tony Gonzalez is running for Congress. Officially endorsed by President Trump. President Trump says Tony will be a great congressman. The president says Tony Gonzalez is strong on the economy, life, and the Second Amendment. That's why President Trump says Tony Gonzalez has his complete and total endorsement. With liberals attacking our way of life, we need pro-Trump conservatives like Tony Gonzalez in Congress. Vote early or on July 14th for Tony Gonzalez.
I'm Tony Gonzalez, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Tony Gonzalez for Congress.
Why settle for a postage stamp lot in the crowded city? Get your big, bold, private 5-acre home site with long-range hill country views located just 12 miles to Loop 1604. Centennial Ridge has it all. Come live in the beauty of the Texas hill country with 5 minutes of great shopping in Bulverde and close to San Antonio. Plus, be in the highly desirable Comal County School District. Centennial Ridge features a gated entrance, paved roads with utilities, including electric, cable, and high-speed internet. Make the move now to the wide-open spaces of the hill country and get your big, bold, private 5-acre home site at spectacular Centennial Ridge. Excellent financing is available. Centennial Ridge is located at 619 East Auburn Road in Bulverde and open 7 days a week. Drive out today or call 866-952-6323. That's 866-952-6323. Or go to CentennialRidgeTX.com.
This is Charlie Parker, and another chance at $1,000 coming up in less than 5 minutes, right here on News Radio 1200 WOAI.
Let's go back to the phones. Rush Limbaugh serving humanity simply by showing up, even though I don't need to be doing this. Quote, a caller from earlier in the program, unquote. This is Chris in Huntington Beach, California. Welcome, sir. It's great to have you here.
Rush, mega prayers for you. It truly is an honor. I'd like to talk about something that I think that we have forgotten about. Not that long ago, the Taliban were destroying statues, religious structures, history, and it's pretty close to what's happening now.
Well, you know, it's not just Taliban. It was ISIS, Daesh, who was doing the same thing.
Exactly, and people were being persecuted and murdered if they didn't subscribe to Islam and its teachings. And here we have the far left destroying our statues, trying to destroy our history. We've actually even had someone murdered by a far leftist in the autonomous zone. So I think we're there, Rush.
Well, let me tell you something. You may be onto something here, because a lot of people